We are live, Newsday Tuesday. Hello, my friend. How you doing?
I am doing great. This weather's awesome.
It's getting better and better.
Even if it's raining, at least it's going to be 60 or 70 degrees. You can do something in the garage, whatever. I mean, you go out and still take a run, walk, take
Yeah,
an umbrella. So we're in the short rows of the bad weather. I'm going to plant a lot of stuff this weekend because in Connecticut the frost free date is May 15th. So
nice.
I got them ready, baby. Veggies. I got over 30 pepper plants, tomatoes,
That's a lot.
basil, lettuce. I'm already eating salad. Half of the salad's grown at my house. It's great. So good
I
times.
remember
How about you?
last year. I remember last year,
Yeah.
me and my other half, we did some lettuce, and it was
hmm
very strong at first.
You can get lettuce that actually has a little kick, like especially like arugula.
Yeah,
Um, and it's good. I mean, it depends on what you like. Um, the lettuce is gonna grow really well, pretty much from early April. Some will even argue late March, all the way up to early June. So we got about another 2, 3 weeks. Once it gets really hot, the lettuce gets a little bit limp. So just wait till September, October. You can do it again. But July, August, even June, you'll know. The lettuce will tell you. Um,
yeah.
but I got plenty of other stuff going, so I'm gonna be busy, busy, busy. Right now, radishes too is the other thing, but I screwed that up. You put too many seeds in one spot, then you get too many plants, and then none of them grow big enough. So you got to really thin them out. So I'm getting to that, but a lot of gardening on the brain right now. I've been cutting the grass, trying to get the yard going for the year, clearing out the deck. I love it. It's a nice part of the year. How about you?
Yeah. I'm trying to get my little space good too.
And what are you gonna have?
Like make it like a little hangout picnic area. Nice table, chairs, nice umbrella,
hmm
gazebo.
Nice.
Yeah,
If the outdoor deck furniture doesn't get too expensive, I'll probably look at getting some. We'll see what happens, all this tariff stuff. But, just we need some nice new stuff. We've had the same old stuff for a long, long, long.
yeah. That stuff gets expensive too. The outside stuff.
Yeah, the good thing is like you go to a Lowe's or a Home Depot or one of those kind of places, you can buy just parts of it. You don't have to buy the whole thing. That
Right.
makes it a little easier, you
Yeah.
know. But,
You can make like your own setup.
and you can do that. You can mix and match. You certainly can. Definitely can do that too. So you're excited for the summer. You got any big plans?
I do a lot of beaches and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Like you got a week planned or a long weekend or something?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to every weekend. I'm gonna try to go to a different beach.
Oh, nice. Nice. That's like my goal. My goal is to try to golf at least once a week. That's about
Nice.
the only summer goal I got right now. That and my wife and I got a big anniversary, so we're gonna hopefully celebrate that in grand style. Although she, basically told me, "Let me get back to you on that." So I'll wait a little while.
Okay,
I'll wait. So man, we got a lot to talk about here. Excuse
a
me,
lot
I'm just
going on.
tired. I've been working. We're whew, this is let's see, 1 week to go for rating after tomorrow. So we're tired, but lots of stuff going on. I don't mean all the national stuff. I mean even here in Connecticut. But what about the fun stuff? We got stuff to talk about there. Holy moly. I was literally just talking about it with some of our sports people on the walk up to the studio here. So you go first. I know there's a lot of sports on the mind.
For me, I've always been a
Yeah,
Knicks
so
fan,
like,
so the Knicks had a big
oh,
game. It's
you're
my
a
team to
happy
win.
dude.
I didn't catch the full game. I watched clips, but I gotta go back and watch the full
Yeah, and it's really sad what happened to that Boston guy.
game.
I
Yeah,
mean, what's his name again? He's the big star, right?
I think so. Yeah, I didn't catch his name though.
Yeah. I'm a baseball and football guy, but I was watching last night because, got a lot of friends who really like the Knicks and a lot of friends who really like the Celtics. So I figured it was worth seeing.
Big
But
game.
yeah, very sad with that injury. But congrats to you and Knicks Nation. Growing up outside New York City like I did, I've watched those folks suffer for a long time with not great owners, not great general managers, not great coaches. I mean, literally the last time they won or came close, I don't even think they won, right? Was 2000 with Barkley, or not Barkley, excuse me, Ewing, Oakley, not Barkley, Oakley, Ewing, Mark Jackson. I can't remember some of the other guys, but they had a really good team back then. And I know some of those guys were at the game last night because we watched toward the end and we saw the whole thing. So you're definitely watching Celtics Knicks, and strangely enough, that's what I had listed too.
Oh yeah. What about baseball?
That's so funny because that is my sports team of the week, for a strange reason. So my sports team of the week is the Colorado Rockies.
Okay.
They have one of the worst records in the history of baseball. I think they had the worst first month of any team in the history of Major League Baseball. They went 5 wins and 25 losses. Don't hold me to it, but it's close to that. And the reason, I said they got to be the sports team of the week, we're the home of the Hartford Yard Goats. They are the AA team for the Colorado Rockies. And the truth is, many of the players that I saw play there last year and the year before, they're now already playing for the Colorado Rockies. One of the guys is even on my fantasy baseball team.
Mm.
So we got to support the home team, and the mothership for the home team. But oof, they're looking rough. This ownership group from the Colorado Rockies has been criticized for years that they're just no one knows what they're doing. They're not dropping enough money into the company and to the players. I'm not a baseball expert, except I do a lot of fantasy baseball. I'm just a fan. But certainly you don't have to look any further than the standings to see that they have not done well for a long time. So that's my sports team of the week. Please root for some Colorado Rockies to turn the ship around because honestly, I just feel bad for them. I can guess what your sports team of the week is.
Let's see. What's your guess?
Oh, you want me to guess? I'm going to say the Knicks.
Yep. That was it.
All right, tell me this. Who's your favorite player on the Knicks?
Player. I don't have a favorite player.
Okay. A lot of people
That's
say
what I've
that.
been
I think his
actually
name is
working on.
Jalen Brunson, right?
He's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people like him, but I don't really know the Knicks. So I love the Knicks from way back in the day. And I think he was at the game last night. Walt Frazier. I remember him. His name was Clyde. That was his nickname, number 10. And oh my gosh, I know all those guys because I think they won the whole thing. But let's check. Probably not. But I'm not sure the Knicks. When did the Knicks last win an NBA title? I don't even know. But
It's been a
they
long
had
time.
they had Walt Frazier, Earl the Pearl Monroe. Come on. That's not the only two. Dave DeBusschere, Dollar Bill Bradley. That was a crazy team. Crazy team. But fun to watch, too. That's way back.
Yeah.
That's in the 70s and 80s. Oof.
I
All
like the
right.
whole
Enough
team.
of that. I'm dating myself.
I like
Let's
the whole
talk
team,
food.
but my favorite player is Patrick Ewing.
Patrick Ewing. He was a great one. He was. I actually went to one game and we got lucky and I got really good tickets. I think because the Knicks were playing somebody really bad. And so we got courtside seats. Patrick Ewing got so close to me that his sweat went all over me once.
Wow.
That's my brush with Patrick Ewing. I guess he, sweat a lot. But whatever. Don't we all when we're playing sports?
Right.
So
Food.
I
Food
could
is so weak.
guess. Yeah, you could probably guess what mine is, right?
I'll take a guess.
Yeah,
Homegrown salad.
nailed it. Nailed it. More than half my salad I grew at my house. How cool is that? And once the tomatoes come in, holy crow. Gonna have it's like almost 100%. And I try to go pretty organic. I'm not organic, but I'll give it one shot of Miracle Grow early in the season, then that's it. No more. The rest is just sun and water. Maybe a little bit of fertilizer in there, but not much. Not much. All
I'm
right,
never going wrong
your
with
food
this.
dish of the week.
Mine is Asian food.
That's a great choice. What kind?
Yeah. Pork fried rice and sesame chicken. I went to an Asian spot in Clinton. They didn't have like fried chicken wings and none of that stuff. So it's like a healthy Asian dish.
They do exist. You've probably heard of this, that like there's American Chinese food or Asian food, and then there's real Chinese food.
Yeah. I think that
So
was a real Chinese food.
yeah, ooh, it was like all steamed,
Yeah.
lots of vegetables.
Yeah. Real good.
Yeah, because my stepmother is Chinese American, so we get some unbelievable food when we go and visit, and like the bok choy and all the different kinds of fish she does, and everything, like I said, is steamed. All the vegetables are steamed, and it's just so good. Like snap peas, all that kind of stuff, water chestnuts, but all the healthy stuff. It's really good. Don't get me wrong. I love a good pork fried rice and cashew chicken any day of the week. Extra spicy, please. But the real Chinese food, that is, I'm glad you know about that because it's, you can really eat healthily and it's
Yeah.
so different, right? So give me again your favorite. You said you had pork fried rice, but what else? You had something really healthy.
Sesame chicken and veggie rolls.
There you go. Spring roll, you can be better than a egg roll. I do the egg roll. I'm horrible. Yeah, that's some good stuff. All right, I probably should read some news and then go back to making the news. We got news, Rome. We got news coming out our ears, man. All
Lot
right,
going on.
okay, and this is fresh news. So this is today. We're recording on May 13th, Tuesday News Day. A Waterbury police officer has been placed on administrative duty amid an internal investigation into an interaction the officer had after he tried to stop a driver who fled, according to police. What they did here was they got clips from a doorbell camera, and they showed that the officer was on the front porch speaking to people inside and literally using expletives. Apparently, this guy is what's called a lateral transfer. He came from a different department outside of Connecticut, came from NYPD back in 2023, and he is no longer on duty now. He's on administrative duty. Crazy news out in Beachland. Didn't you say you wanted to go to the beach, Rome?
Oh yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, consider this. I'm going to have some questions for you in a minute. The first great white shark of the season has been confirmed in Massachusetts. The New England Aquarium said this today. Fresh news, like I told you, man. The aquarium issued a release warning the public to be aware of their surroundings and report shark sightings after Sunday's sighting, and this was off Nantucket. Now, Rome, do you go to the beach in Mass, or you're more a Connecticut guy?
North Connecticut. So they have sharks now. That's crazy.
I come from a family that fishes a lot. And so certainly I've seen all kinds of mako or, smaller sharks in the water. And then my cousins will go out, like, they don't do it a lot, but they've gone, for big fishing, and they'll go after those sharks and stuff out east of Montauk and stuff. But they wouldn't bring me because I'm not a good fisherman, but they go with their really good fisherman friends, and they'll rig up the boat. You got to have a big boat because you're going out on the ocean, but you can do it. In your case, in my case, we're trying to avoid the sharks. So be careful.
Absolutely.
Please. Please. All right. So here's some interesting news. Former President Barack Obama is coming to Connecticut. He's going to speak at a place called the Connecticut Forum next month. He will talk about his presidency, his current work with the Obama Foundation, and the challenges that we face as a country today. I have some relatives that actually they lucked into some tickets and got to see him speak. And again, not a political statement, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat, I wouldn't care. I would want to hear a former president speak. They lucked into these tickets, and they said it was really cool. It was up at some school in upstate New York where they saw him speak, and they said he still got it. He's still a very engaging speaker, and gets people thinking and talking. This news is a little sad. I will say that look on NBC Connecticut soon. We're going to have some Connecticut Sun games, but the problem is they just announced in the last day or so, or it was reported that the owners of the team are looking into selling it. This is a report from a publication online, at least, called Sportico. The team's facilities have been a talking point as other teams across the league have invested in building WNBA specific spaces for games and training, and the Connecticut Sun have not. They play down at Mohegan, and back when they went in there a few years ago, everybody's like, this is great, and it was a good thing, but sort of the league has moved on. And they're trying to really do things like get better TV deals and get better pay. I believe Paige Beckers is making $75,000 playing for the Dallas Stars, or whatever the team name is. I don't have that right. I may not. However, don't believe me. She's NIL. She's doing just fine.
Oh yeah.
Name, image, and likeness is what NIL stands for. And college players now get paid for that. For those of your listeners that may not know that, viewers.
Nice.
But yeah,
So
that's all the news I got. The weather's awesome. The next 3 days are going to stink, is what I'm being told. NBC Connecticut Storm Tracker weather team says this weekend should be okay. There is rain in the forecast every day, but I think it's very hit and miss kind of showers. But again, we're 5 days out. So that's all I got, Rome.
Quick question: does this mean that they won't be playing at Mohegan Sun anymore? They still will.
They're going to be there at least this season. That's the plan. Let's hope they somehow figure out a way to keep them here. That would be too cool. That's one of our only professional major league teams. I mean, we got some minor league teams, but they're a major league team. They're the only one we got. Of course, we got UConn Hoops, which is awesome. So we're doing okay, but we'd like to keep them.
Oh yeah.
Good question, and we always take questions, Ron. And I should have probably put that in the script. But yes, the Sun's here, and you're going to see him on NBC. Also, real quick, if you go on the NBC Connecticut website or the NBC Connecticut app, I've done 2 really interesting investigative pieces over the last few weeks. One that we just aired last week was called Connecticut's Need for Speed. And you will see a guy, if you go check out this story, going well over 150 miles per hour on a motorcycle on our roads here in Connecticut. I had one police officer tell me just offline, didn't want to be identified, but he said literally, it would almost be stupid to chase someone going that fast, because if they hit a car, they'd literally split it in half and kill everybody. That's how fast this guy's going. So I urge you and your listeners and viewers to check out this story. It's just go to the Investigates tab on NBCConnecticut.com, or you can check it out on our app. Other story we did for those of your viewers that are Earth conscious, we did a really neat story about how good do we do as a state when it comes to just recycling the basics: plastic, bottles, cans. newspaper, cardboard. And we put air tags on some of the items to see if they ended up at the recycling facilities. I'm not going to tell you what happened, but if you check out that piece, you'll get that and a lot more. There's some really neat things going on in our state as they're trying to think about, how we can recycle more and recycle better. And my friend Caitlin Burchell, we know her as Birch. She's my partner in the investigative unit. She and her photographer producer Steve Pancione have an amazing story. I believe it's airing Friday. Don't hold me to that, but it's this week. Remember, we've done all those stories about those two guys that were sent away to prison when they were teenagers, and then they were exonerated, and it was connected to Dr. Henry Lee a little bit. He's going to have a comment in this piece too. But it's a story that Caitlin Burchell pursued because we were trying for the longest time to get the second guy to talk. We got the first guy to talk, but we couldn't get the second guy to talk on camera. He wanted to wait till after some legal affairs had, terminated, and now he's talking, and it's quite an interview. And I urge your listeners and viewers, and yourself, of course, to check it out.
Yeah, I gotta check it out.
Yeah, please do, please do. Well, hopefully, my friend, I'll see you next week, the last week of ratings.
See you next week.
All right, take care, Rome.
All right, take care. Newsday Tuesday. Shout out my friend Besthoff from NBC Connecticut. It's your boy Go Rome, the host of the Rome Show podcast. Every Tuesday, it's Tuesday Newsday.